First target. Haven't seen much chemtrails past couple days, but is there a major loophole going on with the chemtrails? Beautiful day here, about 73 degrees, I don't know, something like that. I'm looking for a water filter and looking at the Berkey's water filter, and with those filters they have a carbon filter, filters out the impurities, but then if you want to filter out the fluoride, you got to get a separate fluoride filter that you can install into the tank as well, and then do some further research, which Berkey's really doesn't tell you, is that that filter for the fluoride has aluminum oxide within it, and I guess it does release some aluminum oxide into the water. Now you look further into that, Berkey's has a page on it. Only if you ask the right question about the aluminum oxide and the fluoride filter, Berkey's has a little facts and questions section. They don't come out and tell you that. So if you put in the right question, then it gives you an answer, and it says that the United States government, the FDA, declared aluminum oxide, they removed it from their chemical list in 1988. And that's as long as it's not in a fibrous form. So that would include nanoparticles being removed from the chemical list. And aluminum oxides in cosmetics and all kinds of different stuff. So they separate that form of aluminum from other forms of aluminum. But if you do different tests, soil tests and whatever tests, it still shows up pretty much the same. But if they declared aluminum oxide to have no harmful effect to humans and remove it from the chemical list, does that mean it's okay to spray it in the sky? That's my question. If it's not considered a chemical, because that's all of the basic things in the health codes and whatnot for spraying stuff in the sky and releasing chemical agents, it has to be of no harmful intent, it has to be of no toxicity, things of that nature. So 1988, 1990, that's when some of the early people started realizing chemtrails, started reporting stuff like that. Took me a lot later, but that was probably the early beginnings of when people were reporting chemtrails. Right around the time when they declared aluminum oxide to be removed from the chemical list. So that's quite a coincidence. I mean, how did they not make that assertion before 1988? We were still pretty technologically modern at that time. For all of a sudden in 1988 they removed it from the chemical list. Something shady about that. We'll post the Wikipedia link that tells you in there that it was removed from the chemical list in 1988. So that's kind of like, declaring it a benign substance. So does that mean there's no regulation for spraying that in the sky? That's a pretty damn good question. If it's not declared a poison chemical, a toxic chemical, there may be no backlash, no restriction on spraying that in the sky. I really wonder. And we know Jim Lee talks about, different metals they can add to the fuel system that don't burn up in the combustion part. They just sort of get spit back out. So, all of these metals have different burn points. So really wonder if that sort of negates calling it toxic and poison and all of that declared by the EPA, if they just say it's basically harmless. Very interesting.